Wrapping the Rajkot Test in just under 3 days. It doesn't make this to be a test between two sides, because this wasn't a contest. Right from when India dominated with the bat after winning what looked like a damn good toss on day one, Prithvi Shaw with 100 to remember, Virat Kohli adding one to the collection, Jadeja with 100, 649 for 9. The Indian innings lasting 150 overs and both the Windies innings combined lasting just under 99. Nothing much to say on the batting side, and 16 wickets to the spinners as India take a 1-0 lead with an innings and 272-run win. This is ESPN Cricket for Matchday with Arun Lal and Courtney Walsh. Let me start with you, Courtney, because as much as we predicted this to be India favourites and West Indies have their work cut out, even by those expectations, this is fair to say has been disappointing.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointed. I mean, if you're going to look at the whole test match in the context, on day one, we didn't bowl as well as we could have been experiencing the attack. They got better as the game got on. But I think the most disappointing aspect they'll probably take away from this test match is that not batting, more overs in the test match. And, the game ending today just after tea. Losing 14 wickets is something that they'll have to discuss and try to work out. I mean, they look a little bit more positive, a little bit more relaxed, but at the same time, getting 20 in 24 balls or 17 in 17 balls. You want those batsmen to try to continue. Once you get a start, try to get a little bit more and get the partnership going. And as the captain mentioned, partnerships was the key stuff, and they didn't get any. They had probably one good partnership. So in Test match cricket, you've got to have more than that, and you've got to bat longer.
On the other hand, some serious muscle flex by India, Arun.
Oh yes, couldn't have asked for anything better to begin the series. After England, they needed a morale booster, something like this, and they've done it. So hats off to them. They bounced back, and they must be feeling very good about themselves in every department. In fact, they weren't even taxed.
Let's look at some numbers then, because when you win by an innings in 272, the statsmen tend to get a bit busy. It is India's biggest win against the West Indies. It is also India's biggest win ever in terms of just margin of victory, and it's happened this year. So they have one against Afghanistan. That was one that saw Afghanistan roll twice in one day, and it's happened almost in similar fashion. 99 overs is the duration in which both the West Indies innings lasted. It's not fun when a team has not even won a session or not been in the game at all from start to finish. We've just come at the back of a competitive England series and calls for the health of Test cricket to be maintained. Because of that, these things don't help that narrative.
Yes, it's a downer from that perspective. You want to see good competition between the two sides. And listen, at the start, India's #1 side. West Indies not really at the top of their game. So you did expect that India would dominate. But to such an extent, that's perturbing. So the West Indies now really have to, really get down to basics and tell yourself that, like Courtney said, that it's not good enough to score 20 or 24 balls. You've got a 5-day game. The contest is 5 days. You've got to wear the opposition out. Who knows? When you start batting, you don't know you can go to bat the whole day. But once you get 30 runs in about 60, 70 balls, that's when you feel that you belong and you can handle the situation and handle all the bowling, and you get used to the conditions. But if you are hitting out from word go, you come in and hit a 6 and a 4 and a 3 and a 2 and you're out. You haven't given yourself much opportunity. So they're also guilty of not giving themselves a chance.
In fairness, many teams come to the subcontinent, come to India, and are beaten quite heavily by India. India are very dominant at home, Courtney. England have been beaten badly over here, so have Australia and South Africa. If we look at this performance just in isolation, though, where have the West Indies been let down more? Is it just the ability to not bat long enough, or does that 650 still look very flattering in spite of the conditions being against the bowlers?
The 650 is always going to look flattering. I mean, any team that bat first, you get in excess of 600, 650 runs. It's going to be a daunting task to look at. So we know that it's going to be a major challenge, and we know that the team is sort of without the captain and a young team, whatever. But as Arun said, what you want to do now is that you want to try and create something for yourself. And what we didn't see in the bowling was consistency and stuff, right? And that was addressed. But when it's your time to bat now as a batsman, and because I don't think the wicket That's all a wicket where you should get bowled out on into this. It's just as a turn. You got to show something and put up a fight. So I don't think that we played as well as we should have, or batted as well as they could have with the ability that's in the team, and that is probably the disappointing part of it, because some of those young kids can bat, but maybe, as you say, in India, that stigma of not doing well, other teams not doing well in India probably played a bit with it, but hopefully after this test match you could probably see a different approach, but still disappointed to see them not batting more overs.
Sure. Yeah,
in the test.
With due respect to the West Indies, we knew this series would be something that India should win, and it was about individuals getting better, honing skills, finding some answers before Australia. New opening batsman's come on, 18 years old, gets a man of the match award. Test cricket's not that hard, Prithvi Shaw.
Nothing is hard for him. He's got 100 in almost every format now on debut. So, it's great to see some young kid burst onto the scenes. It's so exciting. And he, to me, has got great ability of judging length and very quickly, because the way he cuts the ball, the way he drives, he's almost into position before. In fact, he gives the impression that he knows what's coming. So that is very heartening to see. And at the top of the order, and an aggressive opener after Virender Sehwag. If you have an aggressive opener, nothing like it is. Because, very quickly into the game, the opposition is into plan B and C before realizing it. The captain's running short of ideas if this kid is batting. So, really wish him well. Although it's early times, it's been an easy wicket, easy start to Test cricket for him. And let's hope he, carries on in this fashion.
I'm told 6th Indian to win a Man of the Match award on debut, so he's already finding himself in some nice little company. Other good individual honours, Kuldeep Yadav, who doesn't get a game often, vastly improved performance, second innings. Jadeja with the bat improving. So little things, little boxes being ticked as India try and answer a few questions before Australia.
Oh yes, and a few questions there will be when you go to Australia. So this is a good thing that's happening. You need to feel good as a unit before you go into the big test. I keep saying it, at the expense of being repetitive, that it is about the mind and how the team is feeling. So before Australia, yes, this may not be the ideal preparation, but it certainly is a morale booster.
All right, but let's remember there's one more test in this. West Indies could come back. This game is done and dusted now. If they can manage to get a result out of that one, then suddenly this series becomes very interesting. Let's look ahead to the second test in Hyderabad that starts on the 12th of October. Courtney, I think the Windies will be hoping that Jason Holder's fit and fine to return to this team. They'll be expecting Kemar Roach back. That should make some difference to this side.
Well, that would make a big difference for the bowling unit for sure, and also Jason has been, pretty good with the bat as well. So, and as captain, that would be a big void. He'll definitely get some experience there. I think from a bowling perspective, they should, a much better bowling unit, and then try to restrict India. And I don't think they'll be telling themselves all is lost. I mean, yes, they'll be disappointed, but it's how you bounce back, and it's a test of character. They showed it in England, and they can do it again. When you're down and out, it's good to be disappointed, but you still have to come back and give it everything you got. With those two guys coming in, I see a big improvements in the bowling attack. And then hopefully the batsmen would have learned from their mistakes, or learned that, listen, we got to start and we didn't capitalize. Be honest, be hoping, and then, try to make amends and put something together that, everybody can be proud of.
From an Indian point of view, now that the lead has been taken in this series, would you like to see someone else get a go? There was talk of perhaps taking, if you win the first test, then maybe you can have the luxury of, say, giving Mayank Agarwal a cap as well in the next one, or trying out Shardul Thakur. Any of those thoughts, or you just play your strongest team in this when you go in the two-test series?
Listen, there's something in it for both angles. Yes, you might want to blood in Mayank Agarwal as well, because he's been getting a lot of runs. But on the other hand, you want to consolidate, you want to move ahead, you want to give the best even more chances and get ready for tests ahead. And it's not about giving a chance.
Yes.
There are only 11 who can play, and to my way of thinking,
there might be slightly better conditions for the bowlers at Hyderabad than Rajkot, although we shouldn't.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. At the expense of being overcritical, I think this wicket, from Test cricket's perspective, not too good, because the team that wins the toss has an undue advantage. In Hyderabad, I hope that whoever wins the toss and will bat obviously, should have to, be at their best in the first 2 hours. There should be a little more moisture in the track, holding and binding the track together. And of course, 4th and 5th day for the spinners. So you want an all-round wicket to happen.
Yeah.
And if you win the toss and bat, well, the first 2 hours have got to be really lively.
That's what I like, that an opening batsman wants that, Courtney. So I have no doubt as a bowler you wouldn't mind a little more moisture in Hyderabad.
Definitely, you want to have a contest. It should start like that. I believe that there should be something in it for the bowlers on the start of the test match. Good opening batsman will counteract that. They will survive. They'll get through it. The wicket flatten out as the game goes on. And then if the 3rd, 4th day, 5th day things start to happen, that's test cricket. So I'm all for that to have something in it to start with and see how it's progress from there.
Maybe the biggest advantage for the West Indies fast bowlers is the few days off and the fact that they didn't have to come out and bowl again. So let's see if they can turn things around and give us a better contest in Hyderabad, for which we'll have you, Courtney Walsh. Many thanks for joining us on ESPN Cricket for Matchday. Thank you, Arun Lal.
Pleasure.
We've made your 3-day encounter a 1-day affair, but shouldn't be long before we see you again on Matchday. And we hope to have your company as well for that Hyderabad test. Download the ESPN Cricket for mobile app for extensive coverage, not just from the India-West Indies series, but plenty of international cricket getting underway real soon. Story from Rajkot at the end of day 3 is that India have a record win and they take that as a 1-0 lead into the next test in Hyderabad.